Oh man, how do I even start this? This is probably going to be a personal video for me. I need to make this video. It's nothing serious. I just want to talk about some gaming memories and whatnot. But uh, if you have been on the channel for a long time and you've seen some really old videos, you might have known that I did a Silent Hill video or slash review talking about the Silent Hill games and everything. And to be honest, that was a terrible video. I did that as a joke, and it was like, looking back at it, it's kind of awful. So I basically wanted to redo the video and to be more serious and to be more uh, retrospective about it, because it's something that deserves it. I mean, Silent Hill for me is important to me. It's important to me because it was all I had, or it's all I chose to have for a while. It's just one of those things where I had such a crazy experience with the series, but we're gonna do this video proper. We're gonna do this right. So I will start from the beginning to talk about my experience with Silent Hill. So basically, just like any other time back then, back in the 90s, you walk into a video game store and you basically just pick out a game. So I just decided to gamble and get Silent Hill. I seen the cover, it was weird. It was like, it was kind of weird. I was like, let me just get it. Little did I know what this game would do to me, right? So I took it home. I played it for a while, and I was afraid of the game. And at the time, I think I was like maybe 14, around that age when it came out. And I just remember that it depressed me as a young kid. Like, it was a depressing experience, and it was very scary, and I didn't like that at the time. So I did eventually beat it, but it was hard for me to get through it. It's very disturbing, very terrifying for a 14-year-old kid to experience that. But yeah, I remember there was a part I was stuck on in Silent Hill 1, and I had to ask someone that worked at the group home I was staying at. One of the workers, he actually played the game, and I remembered that he printed out like a giant stack, like a FAQ from GameFAQs. He printed it out on his printer. This was a long time ago for him, not for me. He had this already. He printed it out for himself, and he would go through it. That's when the pages were yellow. He used like yellow paper, and he used that to figure out how to get through it. And he was like, "Oh man, I got this fact. I got the papers. I can give it to you, help you out." He's like, remember, like, we were talking about the game, like when I came back from my visit at home, and he was like, "Hey, remember, like, we were talking about certain parts and how freaky it was. It was fucked up." I'm like, "Oh, remember this? I got stuck here," and like, he was trying to remember where I was and try to help me, but he gave me the papers, gave me the fact. But anyways, that was cool. Like, had a moment like that with him, and I did eventually manage to get through it. That's what I'm saying. And I never touched it again. I only beat it once. My opinion of the game was I didn't really care because it was too scary for me at the time, and it was too depressing, that style of game. So I really didn't go back to it. And then Um, I remember this was later on. This was years later, and then I just dropped it. I never thought about Silent Hill again. And then sometime in 2001, which was the release of Silent Hill 2. Remember my mom and my uncle decided to go to like this what do you call those places? It's like a building that you go into, kind of like a flea market, but not really. A convention. It was kind of like a thing. It was like a mini convention, almost like a flea market convention type of thing, where you'd go in this building, and it was like a wide open area, and then everybody would have like these different people, these sellers would put stands up, and they would have their things to sell, and things were cheaper there. And they'd have their standee. They'll have like a bunch of things to sell and everything, and you just go around. It's kind of like a swap and meet basically. And I just remember that I was like, I don't want to go, but I went anyways. And we were looking around. My mom was looking at things to buy cheap. And I just remember there was a spot where they were selling video games. And I was like, that's the only thing that caught my attention, obviously. And I was like looking at the games, like, oh man, I want a game. And my mom didn't want to buy me a game. She was like, no, you're not getting a game. Because back then with my family, it was hard to get games. It was really hard. It's not just like your mom buys you everything, you're spoiled. It's like, for me, I wasn't like that. Some kids got lucky and had those types of parents, but not me. I had to work to get my games. I had to fight to get my games. But anyways, I just remember, like, I was looking at all the games. I'm not sure if I wanted anything, but I just remember, and then Silent Hill 2 was there, and it caught my eye. Where's it at? Right here. Silent Hill 2. It caught my eye, and this is the original copy. This is the copy that I bought from the convention. But I just remember seeing it, and I was like, I immediately was brought back to Silent Hill 1, like my memories of that game, and I was like, no, I don't want to play this game at all. I don't want it. I don't want to think about it. And for some reason, you ever have those moments where, like, in the split second, you've already made your decision in your head, but like a split second after that, you just have a change of heart, and you're just like, you want to challenge yourself. Like, at that moment, I wanted to face my fears, and I was like, I really want to get this game anyways, even though I didn't want to technically get it. And I was like, I bugged my mom to get me it, and she wouldn't budge, and I kept bothering. I was like, please, I won't bother you, just get me this one game, and that's it. And then she finally caved in, and she got it for me. God, that was 16 years ago, or like, that was like 16 years ago from now. That's insane to think that, because I'm 32 right now. Yeah, that was wow, six has it really been 16 years? Oh my god. Anyways, time flies when you're gaming. But I got it, and I was scared, because like, I remember the whole time they were doing their thing in the convention, I was just thinking about Silent Hill 2, like what it had in store for me, what I was going to be up against in terms of fear, anxiety, depression, whatever the case may be, the horrors that awaited me in Silent Hill 2. And I played the game, and again, it was the experience I had with Silent Hill 1, where I forced myself to play it. I was afraid, and I was depressed, and just all the wrong feels at that time for me. I mean, I did beat it, just like Silent Hill 1. I did beat it, but I never touched it again, I don't think, after I finished it. So, like, flash forward, like, I want to say, like, maybe a few months after that, or like a year after that, maybe even like a year and a half or a quarter, you ever have that moment as a kid where you have your collection of games at that time, and if you're like me, you don't have everything at your disposal. Uh, you you don't have any more games, and what do you have to do? You look through your games and you rebeat games. You play games over again. You do challenges. You 100% a game. You do whatever. You play the same games you own again, and you try to do different things or whatever the case may be, or just revisit them again. Um, and I remember I got bored. I got so bored because I'd beaten all my games multiple times. I've beaten all the games I had in my collection over and over and over again. I wasn't allowed to get any more games. At that time, I didn't have, access to my money. I couldn't use my money that I had. It was stored away. Mom had it stored away in the bank. Can't touch it, right? Too young. So I just remember like looking through my collection of games. A bunch of PS1 games, some PS2 games. I was just like, what do I play? I need to play something. I'm fucking bored. What am I gonna play? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna turn the light on, so hold that thought. Be right back. It is getting dark in here. Okay, I think we're good now. I think we're good. So, I was looking through all the games. I'm like, I looked at this game, looked at that game. Oh, I beat that one multiple times. I did that. I did 100% in that game. I did everything in that one. This one, that one, this one. Just like, it's funny because what I used to do was I used to take all my games. I had a lot, like PS1, PS2, all these games. I used to take them all off the shelf. I used to put them all over my bed in like squares, like put them like this in a row, all fill my bed full of games. And I used to do this with my cousins too, when we used to pick a game for fun, just randomly. And I would place all the games, I would close my eyes, and I would like pat them down, and I would just pick one randomly, and then open my eyes, and then, oh, I picked this one, and then just play that, like for like maybe like 30 minutes or an hour, and then do it again, or whatever the case, just for fun. You make up games when you have nothing to do. So, but I didn't do that this time. But that's just something I used to do. But anyways, just wanted to share that. I was looking through all the games, and I looked and I saw Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2, and I'm like, I don't like playing those games because they're super scary and they depress me, and they're just, the atmosphere of those games just engulf me in a place I don't want to be. But here's the thing, I've already beaten all my other games 100%. I already did all the other stuff. There's nothing else to do. But Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2, there was other endings to get that I did not do. There's other things to unlock. There was other stuff to do, was my point. So I kind of was like, I gotta do that. I have to. There's nothing else to do. So I bit the bullet. I swallowed it. It hit my belly tum-tum, and I just said, fuck it. And I played these games. So I started with Silent Hill 1 again, playing through that again. And it's strange. I was playing it and something changed in me. Something was different. I was playing the game and I started to see some sort of beauty coming from the game, and I didn't see this before when I played it originally. So I was like, what? I started to appreciate what this game was doing, the amount of quality into it that was put into it. and just the layers. We're talking Silent Hill has layers and layers, like blankets, of just quality, of different, like, the amount of work that went into Silent Hill. It just blows my fucking mind. Like, Team Silent, they were masters of the art of what they did with survival horror, and it still hasn't been replicated since. Like, the way that they crafted those experiences, the horror, the atmosphere, the ambience, the sound, the mind, like, it gets in your head. These games got in my head, like, really bad. And I used to think, like, dream about them. I used to, like, it was an obsession, man. And it's funny because, like, as I was saying, I started to see the beauty in Silent Hill 1, and I became obsessed with it. Like, I had, like, I want to say, like, it's like a drug problem. Like, hi, my name is Dan Driscoll, and I am an addict. I go, like, stand in front of people, make the speech, you know, I am a Silent Hill addict. That's essentially what happened. Like, a religious experience happened, and I became obsessed with Silent Hill. Yeah, see, I remember people telling me that, like, you know, blow your nose, whatever, but I have the hay fever right now and the allergies, and it's funny because this doesn't normally happen to me when I'm, you know, around. Sometimes it does, but every time I make a video and start talking, do a video, I start to get allergic reactions. I don't know why. It's something to do with making a video. It's weird. So don't mind me. It's just gonna be that way. But anyways, like I was saying, going off on a tangent. Like, a religious experience happened, and I played Silent Hill. I got all the endings. Like, I would spend every night playing the game, and I became obsessed. And I used to play these games in the dark. You know what I'm saying? My standard definition TV, I had plugs to hook it up to my stereo, this big, like, fucking stereo that my mom had. You can plug the fucking composites right into the audio, the red and white, into the audio, the stereo, and you can put headphones on and, like, crank up the volume to crazy, like, levels. I used to play Silent Hill like that, and that's probably why I'm fucked up now. I'm a fucked up person. I'm, like, a little cracked. A few screws are loose up there, but Silent Hill did that a little bit. I won't deny it, but I used to do that every night. I looked forward to it turning night. Once it went dark, I fucking turned on Silent Hill, put the headphones on. It was dark in the room, complete dark. I didn't put the light on, just all lights out. Turned the volume to, like, max. I used to do this every night and play through Silent Hill, and used to be scared. Loud, the scary music, the scary ambience, and the sound effects. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I became obsessed with it. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had, ever, of anything in my life. It was that amazing and artful and masterfully crafted to the senses. You see? So anyways, and that's what I did. Then I did all that, Silent Hill, and was completely finished. I did all the endings, like, unlocked everything, and I kept playing it. I wasn't done. Like, what's wrong with me? I kept playing it over and over again, even though I was fully done with it. Like, okay. And then I went to Silent Hill 2, and I'm like, oh, Silent Hill 2, I have something to look forward to, and I could do this. Do all the endings, beat it multiple times. Get all the unlocks, do all the difficulties, like the first game. But then once that was done, I kept finding myself, like, still playing the games, still, every night. And I'm serious when I say every night. I was playing these games every night. And there was some cases where I got so impatient. It's like I needed my fix, my drug. I needed my blunt. I needed to take that hit one last time every day. It was like that for me. And there was times where I got so impatient waiting for it to turn night that I took my blanket and wrapped it over my window to create fake nighttime in my room, just so I could be in the dark, isolated, and playing Silent Hill with the headphones on full blast. This is what I did. This is what I did. I was obsessed. Religious experience happened with this shit. So it was crazy. Then I started joining forums. I remember it was the Silent Hill .uk forum thing. It had Voltiel from Silent Hill 3 on the front page. You click in, there's the forums. I joined the forums. I used to talk with people there. I had my Silent Hill name. We used to theorize on the computer about all sorts of theories of the game. We used to get really introspective. We used to really crunch the creativity and think about all the crazy stuff in these games, and like we used to make up our own things and like crazy stuff, right? And I met so many people on the forum, fellow Silent Hill fans that were fanatical like myself about the game and the entire series, and the music and the art and the stories and the way that it was like massively crafted. We used to talk about this for hours. I would sit there for hours on the forum making topics, talking about all this stuff. It was fantastic meeting all these new people that were into the same things I was crazily in love with, right? That's where I met Holly. That's where I met Olga from Russia. It's where I met Fungo. Now, we used to talk on AIM. I used to talk with Fungo on AIM. Remember AIM? It's like a little chat device. I used to talk with him. We used to talk about Silent Hill all the time. This was before Fungo actually blew up and got kind of famous on YouTube. This was before Fungo was even on YouTube, because he has a YouTube channel, and he does well edited videos, and he became kind of famous. Not really famous, but like he's gotten a following ever since he started to really grow and started to up his quality for his videos. But this was before he was even a thing on YouTube. Like, I knew him. He was just a guy in a forum and just sharing the passion of Silent Hill, and I thought that was pretty cool. I remember like he started to like make like wallpapers and whatnot, and like I started getting into that too. And like he started, ripping the tracks, as he has his own site, Silent Hill Media, where he ripped all the tracks. He ripped everything from the games, videos, the secret tracks, the secret sound effects, like every single piece of that game was ripped and put onto that site. And I even got like the physical CD from him of it. But like I used to go like on, because I never thought I was really a creative person. Like I never used to dabble into certain things, but Silent Hill made me want to like draw things, like tormented things. It made me want to like do things. Like I had photo shoot or suite or whatever, and I used to like get Silent Hill wallpapers, and there was like a Pyramid Head wallpaper, and I used to like take it and like change the color of Pyramid Head and make him like dark evil Pyramid Head, and like it made it like cool to change the colors. And I would literally just do this all day on this wallpaper and make the changes and everything. And I used to just have the Silent Hill soundtracks just blaring all day until it hit night. I just used to listen to the music because the music is so good in Silent Hill. It's just listen to the music all day and just work on this wallpaper. I mean, Silent Hill, like the music of Silent Hill became such a big inspiration to me that I even took up guitar. I wanted to learn it. um really passionate about it. I started to learn how to play acoustic guitar, and I got a teacher and learned a little bit of the notes and how to play it a little bit. Then I started to learn how to read tabs, guitar tabs, and then I mean from that point I started to get better and better, and the first tabs that I started to download was like Silent Hill music, the theme of Laura, uh, Love Palms, one of my favorite Silent Hill 2 songs, like all the Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 1 music. I started to learn how to play, and I could play the entire song of all of the Silent Hill music, which was insane because the Silent Hill music is phenomenal. And as the games came out, I started to learn how to play all the songs, like Silent Hill 3 music on guitar, just shredding, just playing the solos, just like all of it. And it was like, talking about being obsessed about Silent Hill, being one with it was like it was like on a whole nother level that I just couldn't even fathom. Like, I think about it now, just like I was one with Silent Hill. Like, I was actually playing these songs. The connection was so strong, and it was so good. I'll never forget those moments. I mean, I don't play guitar anymore. When I started to play guitar, I played for like 4 years, like 4.5 years, hardcore. I learned a bunch of songs. Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Metallica, and I could play like Metallica, like in the solos, like the crazy shit. I used to play all that stuff perfectly, and that was like a highlight of my life. But I have to thank Silent Hill. Like, Silent Hill and Nirvana at first was the big reasons why I wanted to pick up guitar, and I learned how to play all my favorite Silent Hill songs, and that was a pretty awesome part in my life. So I mean, just look at what Silent Hill does for me. It made me want to play guitar, so I think that's pretty neat as well. And it engulfed me. The point I'm trying to make is that Silent Hill became not just something that I loved and it was dear to me, and I became like a big fan of, but it was a lifestyle. Silent Hill, is weird to say that, but Silent Hill for me back then was a lifestyle. I used to live and breathe the shit. And like literally, like when I say like live and breathe it, like I would breathe in the dark air, like, you know what I mean, like the dark world with the blood and rust. I could smell the darkness wafting into my senses, and I could smell it and just like and just engulf it. It was so now you get the point. I've probably overstated it, but you get the point of I was fucking obsessed. So I would still play Silent Hill 1 and 2 over and over, and these are my original copies. These discs still work, but they're played out. Like I've popped these in my PlayStation so many times that the laser probably destroyed the back of the disc. Like, I played these so many times, 40 plus times, and I'm not exaggerating. I've beaten Silent Hill 1 40 plus times. I've beaten, turning around because I'm so excited, I've beaten Silent Hill 2 40 plus times because they're art. And I remember one person, I've said in the description because they did a playthrough, and someone in the YouTube comments was like, you played these 40 times? What are you, fucking mental? Like, you're crazy. Why would you play them 40 times? You know what I said to him? I said, art, there's no limit to how many times that you can experience art. Because it's fucking art. Like, art stands the test of time. It's something to always be admired. So you could beat Silent Hill 2 1,000 times or whatever. It's art. You know what I'm talking about? And then even I also picked up a copy of this is the greatest hits version. the red. I bought it again because it had an extra mode that wasn't in the original game. It had the, if you could see it, there's a Maria mode included, and it has like some extra things in it. Like I think this is where the UFO ending. I'm not sure if it was in the original, but like you could get like the UFO ending type of thing. More secrets reveal new areas, weapons, enhanced graphics, even enhanced graphics and lighting effects. It was just awesome, and I played these over and over again. Like it just ridiculous amount every day. Like I'm serious. And then there was a point where then I found game trailers, which was unfortunately that site is no longer exists. It went out of business. But I still follow the people from game trailers, and they're called Easy Allies now. They're on YouTube. Great couple of people. I love them guys. They're an awesome bunch of people. But game trailers was the only site I would go on. And I found game trailers because, yeah, there was GameSpot and IGN, I guess, back then when they first were like on the internet. There was these gaming sites that had reviews, and I think they talked about upcoming games as well. But here's the problem. Here's a thing that all these sites had in common. They were just written sites, a Game Informer. They were just written sites. That's all. You go on the site, just reviews of written things. It was just written articles. That's all the sites were back then when they first were out. But game trailers I found, and as their website implied, they had game trailers. They were the first and the only site for a while that had videos of upcoming games. They had footage of trailers and teasers and all this stuff. And I was addicted to that site. I would only visit that site. I didn't visit the other ones because they had videos. So I would go there and see the next game, Mega Man Legends 2 videos before it was released, and Silent Hill 3 before it was released. They had videos and all these upcoming games back in like 2000 when they started. What was that? 2001, 2002, 3 area. And they had all these games I was looking forward to. I was like seeing all this footage, and I was like getting hyped over it. And I just remember watching Silent Hill 3 trailer over and over and over again. I was obsessed. And I was just dreaming about what the next horrors would be. I'm like, what fucked up shit are they going to think of next? And like the creepy atmosphere. What new music and like ambience is Akira Yamaoka going to create? Like I was obsessed, man. And I just remember like I had they showed the date it was supposed to release. It was August 5th. And I do remember very fondly because it's one of my cousin's birthdays. That's why I remember it so much too. Because August 5th is the same day that my cousin Tyler birthday is. So I was like that's why I remember his birthday so much on that day. That's when Silent Hill 3 came out. So Silent Hill 3 was a ways to go. I had like another year to wait. August 5th, 2003, I believe it was. And I was just like, man. So what did I do? I didn't have any other games to play. So I would just play like I said, Silent Hill 1 and 2 over and over again every night. It was insane. And then I just remember I got a jam-packed CD. It was a demo disc, and I think it was solely Konami. It was a Konami PlayStation 2 demo disc that had a bunch of different games on it. That's how I was introduced to Amplitude, like a music game. Kind of like Guitar Hero, but you're using a spaceship and like hitting the buttons with the beat instead of using a guitar. Amplitude. I played that demo, and I got into that, and I actually bought the game. I enjoyed it. So the demo did something right? I got a few games. Played the games on there, but the main reason why I got that demo was because Silent Hill 3 was playable, not just a video, on that demo. And again, Like, and I remember going to my cousin's house. I got the demo, or going to my aunt and uncle's house, and they had a PS2. I was like, Can I play the PS2? And I didn't get off the PS2. They wanted to play. I'm like, nah, this is, you don't understand. This means something to me. I have to do this. So I played Silent Hill 3 like all day. I would beat the demo and I would play it again and again and again and again, exhaust every single possibility, and exhaust, like, just looking at everything closely, and oh, it was insane, man. I played that demo so much I probably burned the fucking disc. That disc is like probably rotted. I played that demo so much, waiting for Silent Hill 3. I just remember playing it, and I remember the opening scene. It's when Heather is in the dream, with like the roller coaster and the fucked up like pendulum monsters that spin around and have like the double bodies, and the mummy dogs, the bandage wrapped dogs. Remember that? God, I remember that so fondly. That was like such a moment where I was like, this is even more fucked up than like Silent Hill 1 and 2 right now. This is like Silent Hill 1 type of like fucked up shit, because Silent Hill 1 was really like, it had like the rust and the blood and the metal and the darkness, and it was like that amplified to like Silent Hill 2 like levels of graphics and like detail. It was just like, it was amazing, and I just played it over and over. Anyways, I remember it was a cool night, right? It was August 5th, and I took the bus, and I went down to the mall. And you remember these things because it's just like, you remember getting off the bus, and like you smell the night air and everything, that smell that it hits your senses. You see the lights at night and everything. You go into the mall, and you go to Electronic Boutique, because I think it was Electronic Boutique back then, or it was EB Games. It was before they turned into GameStop, the shit show that they are today. Pretty sure it was Electronic Boutique, but I could be wrong. It could be EB Games. Anyways, I went in there, and I remember, like, here you go. I had this shit pre-ordered, and I was so excited, because not only like did I get the game that I've been waiting my entire life to play, it came with the soundtrack. If you see it says game include, the soundtrack included, and it comes right here. It comes with the soundtrack. So that's the soundtrack right there. There's the game. Still got it. Amazing. My original copy. And it's like, it's one of those moments where you get the game, your brain is like fucking like freaking out. Like you're getting the extreme amount of dopamine hits in your brain. You're like, I have this, I have it, oh my god, I can go home and I can actually play what I've been dreaming for. I've been playing 1 and 2 religiously every night, right? And I can fucking finally play this. And it's like, it's that feeling. Like, I walked out of Electronic Boutiques, and like this, everyone's around me, you're in a mall, and I didn't care about anyone around me. I didn't care about anything that was happening around me. All I could think about was Silent Hill 3, and I had it in my possession, and I just want to get the fuck home, right? So it's just like, I took the bus home as fast as I could, just thinking about the game, just thinking about it over and over, get it home. And I just remember, I forget what happened. If I didn't play it right away. I remember, I forget what happened that night, but I couldn't play it. Of course I wanted to, I was ready to play it. I don't really remember what happened, but I just remember the next day, I was going to play it, and it might have been too late, and I might have been tired. That might have been what happened. The next day, I wanted to play it. Now, granted, yes, I could have put a blanket over my window and whatnot, but I wanted to to draw it out. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to like the anticipation was growing. I could have put a blanket over the window and started playing it immediately, but I decided not to because it's just the anticipation was getting too much. It was growing, and I just was like, I needed to grow to the maximum peak. So what did I do? I just was like on the forums of Silent Hill, just chatting and like, oh, I got, and telling people I got the game. I remember there was a guy, there was a friend that I had on the forum. I met through the forum Silent Hill. His name was Brad. Unfortunately, he was in a troubled position in his life. I'm not gonna get into that, but he was a okay dude. Like we talked about Silent Hill, and that was enough. Like we were both really into Silent Hill, and we had fun talking about it. We used to go on like I used to talk to him on the phone. He lived far away, and like I remember like we used to chat online too. And that was cool. Like he was like the only friend I had at that time. And it was just like I never had another person that was insanely obsessed with Silent Hill like he was. So me and him connected. We bonded to that, and that was awesome. We talked about Silent Hill all the time. I just remember getting online and like telling him like freaking out, I got Silent Hill 3, and he's like, I got it too. Oh my god. And we're like freaking the fuck out. We're gonna play it tonight. And like I just remember listening. I was like, I'm waiting for the anticipation to build. I'll actually wait till it's legitimately night. You know, open the window, get the night air coming into the senses, and play this game with the darkness and max volume with the headphones. And I just literally all day when I was waiting, I was just chatting and listening to the soundtrack. I ripped the soundtrack on my computer and I was listening to it all day. I had it on repeat over and over again because I was doing that with Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2 soundtrack, right? So with Silent Hill 3, it's the new fucking CD, the new fucking awesome music from Akira Yamaoka. So I'd listen to it all day and just dream, get like starry-eyed about thinking about what horrors I'm gonna encounter and like all the experiences and the fucked up shit that I was gonna see and experience. And then night came and I experienced Silent Hill 3. I need a drink of water, hold up. I'm getting too excited. I played the fucking shit out of Silent Hill 3. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was I mean, you get weird about these things, but it was like fucking, I was in fucking heaven. I was in fucking heaven, religious experience with Samael. This is the funny thing about these games, like, it's like, I used to play, like, made up shit in my mind, like, these games, like, I'm punishing myself, you know, experiencing these games, experiencing Silent Hill. I was like punishing myself for my sins, like some crazy fucking fucked up dream shit in my head, you know. It's like all the bad stuff I did in my life, you know, I'm repenting by playing these games, by putting myself through these horrors, you know what I'm saying? I'm repenting. And it was just fun to do that. It was just made up games, right? And like I was so invested in Silent Hill 3 because you have to remember that like these games, I went back to Silent Hill 1 and 2, and then I grew a huge appreciation for them. They weren't no longer scary and like depressing and I wanted to stay away from them. They were attractive and I saw the beauty and I became wrapped myself in my blanket with the headphones playing these games, and I felt like I was wrapped in the Silent Hill like blanket of comfort. It's really weird. I know I'm getting weird, but it's like this is what I actually felt. Like these games meant something to me on a higher level than other games. And I just like I remember like I got to a point in the game like experience because like you play the demo, right? You know how you play a demo of a game religiously until it's burnt out? You play the demo like 40 times. You must have played a demo like 40 times to exhaustion, like, and you know the demo so well, and then you put the real game in, you finally get it, and you play it, you're playing the demo again, and then that point when the demo ends, which you go down the elevator, you get the radio falls from the elevator, and you're going into hell, into the elevator, and that's where the demo ends. It says to be continued, see you in the full game, whatever. And that moment where you're like, you've seen this a million times, okay, it's gonna end, and then it stops, and then there's more, and there's that revelation. We were kind of freaked out by that. I know that seems kind of weird because when you play the demo so many times, you're used to that ending. It continues, and then like you're thrusted. You see all this dark, gritty, like evil, like fucked up, the alternate world, and it's like you haven't seen this before. This is all new territory for you, and like the dogs are howling and they're like jumping at you, and you're scared so much. Like it's like that feeling of like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like this is not demo territory. This is the full game shit. I just remember there was a point in this game, like, there was a point where I cried. I seriously cried because I was so afraid. And that sounds weird, but like these games just frighten me. Like I've never been frightened by a game ever again besides Fatal Frame. That level of a fright, that level of like really fucks with your head, and the amount of effort that goes into these games. I never felt that again, sadly, after, like Silent Hill, the original ones, and Fatal Frame. It sucks because I want to feel that again. I think PT, even though I didn't play it, it had that spark again of like creativity. It had that fucked up shit again, like, and the graphics were extremely detailed, and the scenarios of PT, which unfortunately, I mean, I have a PS4 now, as you know, but I can't have PT because they took it down because Konami is a piece of shit company. But that was like the closest I ever got to that feeling again was PT. Man, it sucks that game was canceled. It makes me sad. I think about it every now and then, and I'm just like, man, fucking Konami sucks. I really wanted that. I was looking forward to that game, but that sucks. But anyways, there's a point where in Silent Hill 3, there's a train station, and there's a ghost making weird noises. There's a cutscene that comes behind you. You hear about a story in Silent Hill 3. There's a story about on the tracks. There was someone that died on the tracks, and you read in a newspaper about how that happened to someone, and sometimes they say that ghost still lingers near that track where they died. It's fucking freaky shit. And you go to that spot, and a cutscene happens, and you hear the ghost making weird noises behind you, and pushes you onto the tracks. And then you hear the train, like, horn. It's like, it's fucking freaky. I just remember I was so freaked out that a cutscene happened, and Heather, the main character of the game, got crushed by the train and died. You can hear the flesh being torn apart as the train hit her, and like you hear her scream out. And I just remember then hearing that game over music. Oh man, I was in tears. I was so afraid, and I was like, I felt so bad for Heather. I literally cried because I was so invested in Silent Hill 3. I just remember I was crying. Isn't that crazy? I was crying, dude. It's insane. It's just like, and there's moments in Silent Hill 3 that are just like completely fucking crazy. Like really, really fucked up shit. Remember when you go to that room where you can't get out, and you see the mirror and you see a reflection of yourself, and like there's like veins of blood, and these weird fucking noises are on the tub, and but they're not on your side, they're in the mirror, and it's like this weird fucked up shit, and then it starts to spread out into the real world. Like it was like the blood started to go all over the walls, and it was like bubbling hot, like you're in a pot, like it's like steaming, and it's like Silent Hill 3 is some fucked up shit in it. Like really fucking creative dark shit. That was like the peak of the series for me. Silent Hill 3, everyone talks about 2. It's the best one. I agree. It's the fan favorite. It is amazing. I also love 1 is a masterpiece, and 3 is my favorite because this was the one I mean I played all of them like 40 plus times, but this one I played 1 and 2 religiously. You have to remember, and I was waiting for this. There was no other Silent Hill I was waiting for besides this one, and then of course 4 after this. But like this, I was so connected to this one. This was the last one that really made an impact on me and really had so much love and care as the other games. Like this game is so amazing, and people don't talk about it. They talk about 2, and it pains me. I think maybe because like there's more of a religious side to 3, I guess. And maybe people aren't into that. I don't really know. There is like religious like speaking, and like there's like a religious presence more in 3, but I thought that made it scarier because like I grew up going to church. Like my mom forced me to go to church. Like it was a Catholic family. I had to go to church. So like it was like a mixture of like real life stuff going to church, and then mixtures of this. It had more of an effect on me because like I've been through that type of thing, the church stuff. So I don't really know, but like I love 3. 3 is fantastic. There's so many amazing moments in 3. It's just like no one talks about 3. It sucks. Like the blood going on the walls, like a Valtiel turning, the valves, and it's pumping the blood through the pipes, and it's going all over the walls. How creative is that? The creativity, like in Silent Hill 3, like it's just amazing. Like the dark imagery, like climbing the ladder, and like the blood pumping, and seeing Valtiel all like twitching and shit, and like the blood is pumping through the walls and everything, and like seeing that face on there's like a face on the bloody tiles. It's just like all you see is the face. It's just, and like all this fucked up imagery, and it says "What a wonderful world" in blood. It's like it's fucking amazing. But anyways, I just remember being so infatuated with the series and playing the games over and over and over again. I just remember having like my cousins would come over because we'd play games too, and I just remember like kind of persuading them to play Silent Hill. Like I remember like they would sleep over for a night, and like I would pop in Silent Hill 1, and I'd be like, play this. I'd put the headphones on them in the dark, put it loud, and I would sit back, I would sit next to them, and then just watch them play, and I would coach them essentially. So like anytime they got stuck or they don't know what to do, like I would like help them go into the right path, or give them vague hints to help them progress if they got stuck. And I loved like just watching their reactions, because I knew the games in and out. Obviously beat them so many times. I know when everything that's gonna happen, every sound, I knew all the lines by heart. Insane. So like I would watch their reactions, and I would just be like giddy, just seeing them get scared at these crazy moments and getting fucking frightened. Like, and I sat them down with Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 2, and Silent Hill 3. Remember when this one came out? They've already played the other ones. I just remember like it's the new one's out, and they were like, "Oh man, I'm ready for this." Like, and have them play it, and they just was like blown away. They were mind fucked, dude. These games are mind fucks, hardcore mind fucks. They're just amazing. That's all I can really say. I mean, and that was it. And I continue to play these games. Even when I played newer games, I got new games. I still play these, and a lot. But that was a point in my life where this was my life. And I know you'd say, like, that's not really healthy. You're not wrong. But it just became an obsession. Some people in this world, you have your things that you like. You have your things that you find that are really, really good, to the point where you're like, man, this is a work of art. And you cling to those things because they're so amazing. And this was one of the things that I clinged to for a long time. And I thought was one of the most amazing things ever. And it still is. I mean, granted, I haven't picked up these games in a long time. I think my time is over for being obsessively religious with them. I mean, I'll still pop one in every now and then. You know, maybe around October, I'll decide to play one just because, you know, for old time's sake. But my obsessiveness over it, I think it's ended because, I mean, granted, the series came out, and I mean, 4 was the next one, and I was right there from the beginning. I pre-ordered it. It came with the game CD, the game soundtrack, just like the third one, and I enjoyed it. But I also, there's a part of me that didn't like it as much because it changed, and it was a little different, and it was a little weird. Some of the gameplay choices, didn't really like 4 as much, but it has, 4 has some really neat ideas, and it has some really, there is some things about it that are really good about it, but it wasn't well executed. Not like the first 3. There's things about it like how you play the whole game, and then once the half game hits, it's an escort mission, the rest of the game, and you're doing all the same locations over again. It's terrible. Yeah, there's like added puzzles and stuff, but you're doing the same areas again the first half of the game, and it's just like added puzzles and difficulty. It's not really well conceived. But there is some scary shit in 4, like the fucking skinned babies, ghost babies all over your wall when you go back to your apartment and they're like crying. It's just, there's some fucked up shit in 4. But like, just to see for like a reference of comparing, I've beaten Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 like 40 plus times. Silent Hill 4, I've beaten like 7 times. Which should show you that, you see the comparison. I just wasn't fully into it as the other ones, like obsessively. But, and then Origins came out on PSP, and that was alright. At least they nailed the Japanese atmosphere of the game. It felt like creepy. But you started to see like that wasn't made from Team Silent. Silent Hill 4 was the last one, and they started to hand it off to different developers, which that ruined the entire series for me. You know, and then all the Silent Hill games that came from the other, you know, companies, like the American companies like Tom Hewlett and all the fucking, I don't even want to get into it because I'm just not a fan of those. Those are not my thing. I like the Team Silent games. Those were masterpieces. Those were art to me. They knew what the fuck they were doing. And then you got these developers that, you know, I'm fans of the series, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a fan of the series. I'm just going to try to make a Silent Hill game. Like, they don't know how to make fucking masterful art like Team Silent. And it just fell apart. The entire Homecoming is just trash. Like, everything is just, I'm sorry. I'm done with the series. Silent Hill was an amazing series, and now it's over. You know, and that's the thing, is like, as fans, we crave more, but sometimes it's best to just kill a series off early, because you're not going to get another one that is fucking truly amazing. And it's just like, I was done. And then the movie came out, which, here's the thing. When the movie came out, I was obsessed. I loved it. I accepted it. The first movie. I saw it in theater like 3 times. I loved it. I had my moments with that movie. And then I bought the DVD and I watched it a few times. But then it just started to die out for me. At the time, it was amazing, but and it was probably the best like game adaptation to a movie like ever. Like that was really good. But man, like I haven't bothered to watch it again. I don't really care. But and then the second movie, which is called Silent Hill Revelation. That movie, okay, it was on Netflix, and I wasn't gonna watch it. I was like, no, I don't care for it. I'm not gonna watch it. And then I just saw it was on Netflix, and I'm just like, I was a little bored at the moment. I'm just like, fuck it, just watch it. I knew I was gonna regret it. I knew it was gonna be bad, and I just decided to watch it. And it was literally, I was just like, I was feeling sick watching it, and not because it was gory, not because it was really fucked up and creepy, and it was stirring my stomach. I was feeling sick because the movie was fucking hot garbage. That movie is trash. If you're a Silent Hill fan of like the original games, like you're one of the fans that appreciate art, that movie is complete trash. It was literally one of the worst, if not the worst movie that I have ever seen in my life. And I'm not over exaggerating it. That's what I felt. It was just fucking awful, okay? They made Vincent a love interest for Heather. What? A love interest? What the? If you know Silent Hill 3, they did so many things in that movie that just made they Americanized it in the worst fucking way possible. It was awful. I wanted to bleach my eyes out after watching that movie. I would have if it wasn't dangerous to do, but unfortunately it's dangerous. So, I don't want to talk about the bad stuff, okay? Talk about it briefly. That was it. I'm good for that. I just want to talk about my memories. I mean, I've already made, like I said before in the beginning of the video, I've already made a video about this stuff, but I didn't do that great of a job. It's kind of a joke video, and I look back at the video, and it's kind of trash, that video I made. I wanted to get real, and I wanted to get personal, and I wanted to really talk about this stuff. And like in my experience of getting the games and playing the games and obsessing over them, I wanted to talk about it. Because it means something to me. And I'm not sure, how entertaining this video is going to be. I think, obviously, for the people that actually played these games, Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3, and, like, really adore them, I think they'll get a kick out of it. But for, because, like, I do go over the same points again. I talk about this stuff. At the moment, man, it's in the moment. So, these games are still amazing, and they're still art. And, I mean, I have 4, but I don't want to actually, I didn't get 4. So I wasn't going to talk much about it, but I should really play one of these games again for October. Anyways, guys, play Silent Hill. Embrace it. Enjoy it. Silent Hills 1, 2, and 3. You can play 4. Check out 4 if you want. You can even play Origins on the PSP. Don't play the PS2 version of Origins because that's a bad port. Play the PSP one just to admire the atmosphere, because the atmosphere is still good. And I'd argue like the ambience, the music is one of the last great soundtracks from Akira Yamaoka. After that, he kind of got... He did Homecoming, and you could tell the music is not that great. He didn't like the way that game was going, because the Americans, they fucked it up. They Americanized it. But yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna go now.